Yeah, just not clean. I mean, that's really what led to it. Defensively, dug a hole, got the ball thrown over our head too much, which we can't do. And so that was an issue early. I was happy with the way they responded, and did some good things, and in the last 3 quarters of the game. But we dug ourselves a hole so much it was hard to dig it back out against a good team like Cal.
Coach, what did you identify in terms of the struggles to run the ball and to that this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. Well, one, Cal's pretty good up front and at the linebacker level. But we had some ball handling issues from quarterback to center. Just not clean. Same thing in the blocking. We had guys running through the line of scrimmage too much. It just wasn't a clean game, not what we were hoping for at all in our first game on any phase of the game, really.
And Exodus Air is missing from the game tonight. I'm wondering if you can share his status at this point.
No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. That was very disappointing, and because it wasn't the players' fault. We start the game 3 and out, make them punt. That's a different game, and yeah, unacceptable. I mean, that's really all it is. That totally changed the whole momentum of the game. So it can't happen.
I was going to ask about the 12-man penalty, so now I have to go back to the drawing board and think of something else.
Anybody else?
What did you like from Nico tonight? It seemed like he was involved pretty heavily throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, Nico's a good player, and he's going to see plays. He could have made more plays, and then he wasn't alone. There were times where we were in the backfield and had a chance to make tackles for loss, and we didn't. So we got to go back and as players, coaches, and teach how to make those plays better, and then execute how to make those plays better, because there was some production in the backfield as far as hitting those guys behind the line of scrimmage.
Turner, I'm sorry, if you addressed that, the penalty there on the first punt, was there too many, the mix-up on who was supposed to be in?
Same number.
Oh, the same number.
2 of the same number on the
Gotcha.
field. Yep.
When you guys were down 24-9, you went for 2. What was the thinking there?
That's just going analytics, and when you have to go for 2, when you don't, that's when it was called for.
I did it. Obviously, a lot of anticipation just to see Malik's first game. Obviously, you mentioned some overthrown balls and things like that, but were there things that you did like kind of throughout his performance, and where do you think he can improve?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm going to have to watch the film to give you a correct answer on that one. Yeah, because right now, the emotion of being done with it, I'm not very happy with anything. So I don't want to grade a guy without seeing exactly what he did.
What was the biggest lesson or takeaway from today, and how do you guys plan to kind of push forward and move on?
Yeah, we talked about it before the game. It was about us and our execution. They didn't do anything that we weren't expecting them to do. They did a lot of the things we practice against our own offense doing, and same thing on defense. So it is just a lack of execution for whatever that reason was. Making the game too big. I'm not sure. That's what we really got to dive into, and it's going to take great teaching and coaching, right, to get those things so they don't victimize us in the next game. And so that's the challenge to the coaches and the players moving forward.
Trey Glasper with a lot of run at one of those corner spots, and he got beat a couple times, but had some big plays down there towards the stretch. What's it like seeing a freshman kind of get involved early?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen to freshmen. I mean, he got forced to play, when he did some good stuff. But early, he got the ball thrown over his head, and that's just going to be a lesson learned. I mean, that's the thing about corner. You're going to get beat at times. You're going to have some games where it's not great. You got to be, the saying, you get like a goldfish, you just got to forget about it. Learn from it. Okay, how could I have won at the line of scrimmage better so that didn't happen? But the good thing about those is he was in position to have a chance to make a play. Now he's got to finish that play, and that's where his game will jump. because it wasn't like he was beaten, just run by. They were contested catches. And credit to the Cal receivers for making difficult catches.
Kind of on a similar note with that goldfish mentality, how do you put this one aside and get into game prep for Fresno State?
Yeah, I think you put it to bed tomorrow, and then you really, okay, what did we do well? Because there's things we did well. What do we got to do better? And then what we learn that's going to make us better? Those kind of 3 questions we got to ask ourselves every day, and we got to ask ourselves that tomorrow when we watch the film.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Obviously not the outcome you want, but what do you kind of, take away from the performance? How do you self-evaluate there?
Yeah, I feel like got to do more on offense, and not even just like playing wise. I got to be better, just being more coachable, being there for my teammates, creating more plays. We left a lot on the table, getting the ball in the paint. It's hard to win the game when you don't score points. So I got to do a better job of keeping the ball moving forward and not, giving them the ball back when our defense just came off the field. Help them out, and yeah.
Looked like your ankle got kind of twisted up there on the run. Are you all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
If you could put it into words, your communication with your receivers, how is that like? Do you like it? Do you think it has room for improvement? Do you think it affected tonight's game?
I think we got to improve on everything, not just communication. But of course, definitely that's one thing that we can improve on is communication. And I got to be better, giving them the right signals, giving them the right assignments, and they got to do a great job of hearing it all and doing their job. I got to do my job; they got to do their job. And I feel like if we do that at a high level, things wouldn't have went how they did tonight.
Malik, on the pick,
I got you.
on the pick towards the end of the game, just your perspective on that. Obviously, you still have to watch the film on that, but just your perspective on that play.
Yeah, that's bad on my behalf. I got to see it better, and I got to throw Bryce a better ball. And if I'm not working Bryce, I should be working somebody else to not, turn the ball over. So that's on me. Got to get better.
And in terms of just the offense and its overall progress, do you feel like this might have been a step back from where you guys were toward the end of camp?
I don't think it's a step back. It's just another thing to watch, another thing to go over, and another thing to get better from. It's our first game. It's our first real opponent other than playing our defense. So, of course, we got things to improve on. We got things to look at and work on moving forward for our next opponent next Saturday.
Malik, towards the end of that first half, you guys had a pretty good drive put together, but then turnover at the end, and they get 3 points on the other end. Going into the break, what's sort of the message to the team just to keep the morale up and just to keep everybody focused on the task at hand?
We just got to do our job. Nobody has to be Superman, and like I said, that starts with me. Nobody has to be Superman. Just go out there, do your job, play our game, and I say it again, things would look completely different if we kind of just honed in to those few things and went out there and played how we know how to play.
Malik, on a night like tonight, how much do you guys miss and how much the offense hurt without a lack of offensive balance? Obviously, a real struggle to get Hank in the ground game going. You guys were kind of forced to throw probably more than you wanted to.
I think we're passing offense. I'll never say we threw more than we wanted to. I'm always all right throwing the ball if that's what Coach wants me to do. We just got to find ways to connect more, whether that's, finding more completions, not putting the ball at risk, or, doing a better job blocking up for the run game or hitting the gap harder as a running back. There's always ways that you could, beat around the bush in a way, but we just got to do what we got to do to get better.
That first offensive snap of the game with the ball on the ground, what did you see happen there?
Just a bad exchange for me and my center. Things happen. Next play. It's not much to it.
And then looking forward to Fresno State, do you see anything on offense that you can build on going into next week, week 2?
Everything. Yeah, everything. You find something in everything that you did. Find something to get better and learn from tonight. You know, it's not hard. We got the film to watch. We got all the plays that we ran written down, and you know, it's all up to us to go in and fix it if we want to be better.
Malik, were there any week 1 jitters tonight, which kind of gave us the outcome that you guys had? And is it safe to say that going into week 2, now that the jitters are off, it'll be kind of like a different energy and an environment?
I mean, you could never really say that there's jitters or there's not. You know, you could ask a player like, how you feeling? You're gonna say you're good. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna say, oh man. Everybody wants to go out there and do their best. However that turns out, of course, there can only be one winner at the end of the game. So, you know, moving on to week 2, we just got to lead us in the past and find a way to get better moving forward.
And then what's your mindset just heading into practice this next week, and what are the biggest things you're looking to improve on ahead of facing Fresno State?
I got to be a better leader and a better player and a better student in the meeting rooms and with my coaches for sure. You know, it kind of all starts with me as a captain, as a quarterback. So, you know, me doing my job is gonna help the team do their jobs. So, yeah.
Thanks, Malik.
Appreciate it.
Skylar, back to over here. Just your thoughts on the first quarter and kind of you guys getting beat over the top and what some of the areas were that you noticed that led to that?
We just weren't being combative enough to the point where we needed to be. I think we, towards the end of the game, we started to do that more, but yeah, we just weren't being combative enough.
And as the game progressed, just your thoughts on how the defense settled into the game maybe in the second and third quarters. Do you feel like that's something to build on for next week?
Oh yeah, most definitely is, but the biggest part right now is starting fast, and that was the biggest thing. Because we didn't start fast, to a certain extent, you know, they had 14 on us early.
Trent put a big emphasis on that penalty on Cal's first drive when you guys seemed to have the 3 and out. Psychologically, just when you get off the field, you've got the 3 and out, you started the game, you want to start it, and then you got to go right back out there and defend. What is the challenge of that?
Well, you know, it's always great getting off the field, but you know, it's sometimes demoralizing having to get off just to get right back on. But for us, you know, we love adversity. We face adversity head on. So anytime we have a chance to get back on the field, you know, we're excited, we're happy. So.
You had Trey Glasper playing near you quite a bit. You know, true freshman makes the start tonight. I'm curious if you had any words of encouragement for him kind of heading into it and, you know, just kind of how you guys work through that through the game.
He's a dog. He's a dog. You know, I'm 10 years into this. This is his first year. He's better than me. That's all I got to say. He's a dog.
Towards the end of the first half when Cal's driving, that big 24-yard run and then that helped set up the field goal. What was the mindset of the defense going into the locker room? What sort of message did you guys have as a defensive unit heading into the second half after the way that the game ended?
Just to stay in it. Just to stay in it. It was 17-3, I believe. We were never out of the game. 14 points is never out of the game, especially in a long game like that, 30 minutes left. So, yeah, just to stay in it, keep on attacking, strike zone, and, again, keep on being combative.
Thanks, Skylar.
Appreciate you. Thank you.